chance for value stocks to start outperforming growth stocks. The last 9 years were the years for the FANG stocks and the like, companies that were growing north of 15, 16%, some of them 20%. Therefore, the market did not care to give these companies high multiples of 60 times earnings or more. My feeling is that 9 years outperformance by growth companies is going to swing over to value companies, companies that sell at 10 times earnings or less. One company I wanted to talk about is Intel. So Intel disappointed last Friday, and the market was expecting to see earnings growth and revenue growth a lot more than what they said they will have in 2019. But that said, we have to understand that it is a value stock and the numbers don't look that bad from a value investment perspective. And why is that? Because in 2018, the revenues of Intel went up about 13%, north of $70 billion. Their earnings went up 28% to about $20.5 billion. Their earnings per share went up about 32% to $4.58 a share in 2018. Now they reported that for 2019, they expect to see maybe 1% revenue growth. In fact, the market is looking at $4.60 a share. This is still a company that has a free cash flow every year of $16 billion. The issues they are having is a global growth slowdown. They used to make most of their money selling PC microprocessors. Today, that segment of their business is less than half. Even though everybody was talking about a slowdown, they managed last year to have north of 9% growth rate. So they make most of their money selling chips to data centers and servers. What happened last year, a lot of these companies that buy these chips into their data centers bought a bit too much. So they are working off their inventory, and this is why it's going to be a bit challenging for Intel to show us growth in the first half of the year. What's coming in their pipeline is new technologies, such as Internet of Things, such as 5G. What also caught my eye over the weekend is the stories about the Chinese economy. China is going through some major structural issues. Productivity and efficiency hasn't been growing there since 1985, and that's a problem because this is an economy, the second largest in the world, north of $7 trillion in GDP growth rate, that used to grow at 10%, now growing at a little bit over 6%, and we don't think that that slowdown is going to stop. One of their major issues is that in 30 years from now, their demographics will age up to 25% of the working force. The prime years for employment is normally between 20-year-olds and 59-year-olds. These are the people that bring into an economy the most productivity. In the Chinese economy, they had a tremendous growth rate of that population bracket between the mid-80s to 2013. They went from about 400 million individuals at that age bracket to north of 800 million. But there is one segment in the economy that doesn't need to deal with supply chains, and that is software companies. The cost of writing software is a one-time cost. You write the software, you write the code, and then you can sell unlimited copies of that software for no additional cost. Therefore, one segment in the marketplace that can benefit going forward are the software companies, companies like Google that we own. Another company that falls into that space can be Microsoft. These are companies that work on subscription model. These are companies that sell a product before you even buy it. We have to understand that 30% of companies at this point are using cloud-based for their software services. And a lot of analysts on the street believe that by 2021, 2022, that number is going to go to 55% of companies. You get 80% repetitive purchases in that business model, and normally 90% of all customers renew their commitment.
5G presents a particular problem because it's going to take 2 to 4 years before that to really gain some foothold. If you just go back and look at how long it took to bring 4G in, it's about the same period of time. Plus, the other problem is all the infrastructure has to change with 5G. In addition to that, what they're talking about is clustering radio receivers and senders. And I think Intel's right at the center of all of that.
The video gaming industry is one of the fastest growing segments in the entertainment business right now. Put that into perspective a little bit, new media executive Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, has said the biggest threat to his business is Fortnite, a video game, is a bigger threat than HBO. Fortnite is a video game that's owned by Epic Games. Epic is a privately held company right now. They did a private institutional financing in September to the tune of about $1.25 billion, and that was at a valuation of $15 billion. In 2012, Tencent, a Chinese company, made a $330 million investment into Epic Games, and that gave them a 40% stake in the business. This year, Tencent is working on distributing Fortnite in China, along with a slate of other video games. They're talking about a revenue valuation of about $40 billion on this slate of games.
I liked what you said there, Bruce, about the video games. With the burgeoning augmented reality industry, it's really going to change the face of gaming. A lot of the companies, to stay away from insider trading, are doing self-mandated buyout blackouts. This is really a strategy they've used through this volatility as a shock absorber, and with the blackouts, they're not going to be able to use this. So it should be an interesting week to see how that shapes up, with not using the buyout blackouts to manipulate their financial metrics. 46 billion in buyouts or repurchasing of shares this year versus 2017.
And keeping an eye on the yield curve, we know back in December we had a temporary inversion between the 3-year and the 5-year. We did not have an inversion on the 2-year to the 10-year. There's been a little bit of fluctuation, in the last month and a half. The difference on the 3-year to the 5-year has remained about 1 basis point, and the spread between the 2-year and the 10-year has stayed consistently at 16 to 17 basis points. Keep in mind that an inversion, although has been a very significant indicator of a pending recession, the lag between inversion to recession has averaged about 18 to 24 months, so we should be in the clear for 2019 as far as recessions are concerned.
Hello everybody, and thank you for taking the time to watch our videos. I'm Amit Stavinsky, the Managing Director of Tamar Securities and its affiliates, 911 Financial Services and Firefighters United. If you would like to continue getting the content, please check us out by signing up to our website or becoming a subscriber to our YouTube channel. The highlight of the week is that value companies are in a position to start outperforming growth companies. Look at companies that sell at deep discounts to markets to increase return over time.